But Wotan takes no notice. He takes the ring right back up to Valhalla and gives it to Fasolt. Well, directly Fafnir kills Fasolt to get this ring for himself. So Wotan knows that this curse is working. And it worries him. So he goes down to Earth level to talk to a fortune teller he knows called my friend Erda. She is a green-faced torso that pops out of the ground. At least we used to think she was a torso because this is as far as she ever came out. But in the telecast from Bayreuth, she came right out. She does have some legs. She's wrapped up in a dirty old dust sheet. But anyway, up to this point, this is as far as she came. And she says to Wotan, Weike, Wotan, Weike, which means be careful, Wotan, be careful. She then proceeds to bear him 8 daughters. So she should have been careful. Well, these daughters are the Valkyries, headed by Brunhilde, and they are the noisiest women. Libretto that they all of them virgins. I'm not the least bit surprised. Well, recently somebody said, you know, you're wrong there. There were 9 Valkyries, and actually there were, but you see, Brunhilde came slightly differently from the other lot. She sprang fully accoutred in chainmail and winged helmet out of Wotan's head. And that, of course, is parthenogenesis and another story entirely. Well, that is the end of part 1. Well, in part 2, you find Wotan wandering around on the earth, and he has 2 illegitimate children, Siegmund and Sieglinde, by a mortal. Oh, he's very versatile. Well, he has these children whilst disguised under the singularly appropriate name of Wolf. Well, these children get separated when young, and Sieglinde marries rather a disagreeable fellow called Hunding, who plays the French horn. And in addition to this occupation, he has an ash tree with a sword stuck in it, growing through his living room floor. He's terribly house and garden. Well, one day who should come along but Siegmund? And he falls madly in love with Sieglinde, regardless of the fact that she's married to Hunding, which is immoral, and she's his own sister, which is illegal. But that, of course, is the great beauty of grand opera. You can do anything. So long as you sing it. And after having given Hunding a Mickey Finn, so they won't wake him up, they certainly do sing it. Wintersturm wischen von am Morn, in mildem Lichter leuchtet der Lenz. You are my spring that I have so longed for in frosty winter's cold. Well, when they get a lot of that off their chests, Siegmund pulls out the sword that's stuck in the tree that grows in the house that Jack built, Hunding built, and then they run away together. Well, of course, when Hunding comes to, he's frightfully annoyed, and he chases after them, and there's a tremendous battle in which everybody seems to become involved. Siegmund kills Hunding. Hunding kills Siegmund. Mr. and Mrs. Wotan get in a most frantic argument, the outcome of which is that Wotan gets mad at Brunhilde. You see, Mrs. Wotan, who's a prude as well as a nag, well, Mrs. Wotan told Wotan to tell Brunhilde she was not to side with Siegmund, and she did. But the reason she did was that Sieglinde is going to have Siegmund's child. Don't know how she knew, they only met last night. Well, that's what she said, so as a punishment, Wotan puts Brunhilde on a rock. Although, how Sieglinde having Siegmund's child can possibly be Brunhilde's fault? Only Richard Wagner could tell us. Well, anyway, he puts Brunhilde on a rock, then he nags her into a coma, and he surrounds the rock with impenetrable fire. And that's the end of part 2. Well, part 3 is devoted to the growing up of Siegfried, this child. So you see, sure enough. And he's very young, and he's very strong, and he's very brave, and he's very handsome, and he's very stupid. He's a regular little Abner type. And there's not too much you need know about this part, except that Siegfried gets the ring by killing Fafner. Do you remember Fafner? Do you remember he built Valhalla? A giant? Well, he's a dragon now. Don't ask me why. But anyway, he's dead, and Siegfried has the ring. Then a little bird comes. And this little bird tells Siegfried, who understands him, he understands him because Siegfried has accidentally tasted a drop of Fafner's blood. We won't go in.